Hello everybody, today we are going to be talking about the Sagittarius Full Moon in June of 2025. And this is pretty cool. Remember, full moons are all about what has blossomed for us, so what has actually come to fruition. And right now for the full moon, it is, according to my chart, in the 10th house. And really what the full moon has given you clarity on is it's given you some kind of perspective about your career path. And so really the question is, what perspective have you learned about your career path and your public facing self, or the kind of work that you want to put out there, and then your attitudes towards success? What perspective have you learned about the career path and your attitudes towards success? So this full moon is saying, hey, since the last Sagittarius new moon, you've probably experienced a development from your internal world to this outward facing public career world. And so your insights that you glean are going to, the kind of blossoming, the fruit that has come from this time of the previous Sagittarius new moon, which was in December. It was like December 1st of 2024, all the way 6 months later to the Sagittarius full moon. You've probably gotten some important perspective on your career path or your attitudes towards your sense of success, and also things that you've learned in order to feel satisfied with your career path. And so those are the things to notice right now, to notice really clearly, like, what is it that I've noticed or I've learned about myself and my public facing self, the self that I want to portray, that I want to do work as. What have I learned about feeling success, or what have I learned about needing in order to feel satisfied on my career path? So that is where you're going to get the most wisdom or the most jewels from this full moon. And I actually even do have some answers to that question, which I'm going to get into a little later, but I want to paint this picture just further. All right, so as we know, the sun is currently in Gemini, and so it is opposing the moon. And so the sun is sitting in the 4th house. And so you may actually feel conflict or reception about this bigger perspective that you have about feeling satisfied on your career path because of how your attention is focused on expanding your inner world. So even though you've gained insights about your career path over this time, you've gained insights about what you need in order to feel satisfied and what your attitudes towards success are, your focus at this time is actually on your inner world, which is what you do behind the scenes, what you do when nobody is looking, what you do in your home, what your home feels like, what you want for your home. Because you naturally are curious about your home and your internal world, and also you're feeling a sense of expansion. And not just an expansion of maybe your home or your personal, emotional inner world, but you're expanding or exploring ideas that have to do with expanding your sense of safety and security internally. And so that's really where your attention is you're doing some internal work, but it's fun. It's where your attention is naturally going. For myself, I'm currently reading a self-help book that is all about examining that inner world and how that inner world plays such a big role in our outer facing world, and about having congruency there. That integrity is that when your inner world matches your outer world. And I think it's pretty amazing that Jupiter being here expands our sense of safety and security so that we can experience more. And so this could be a source of conflict, or it could be receptive depending on how it matches up with your attitudes towards your career path or your sense of success. So what a lot of people feel is that they have their public facing self, they have their job self, and there's TV shows about this now, like Severance, that talk about the kind of corporate mask that you put up in order to be in the world. And it can feel like you're living a double life because it's not totally congruent to who you are internally. And there's a lot that could be said there. And I believe that if you're feeling that kind of dissonance, that you're living two different lives, then that could be a source of conflict at the time of the full moon, or just, around the time. It doesn't have to be on the day, but just kind of around this time. Like, you could actually feel frustration right now that, why do I feel like who I am when I'm at my home is so different than who I am externally? And it's going to actually kind of grind your gears, because going further, you actually have a desire to be very authentic. This is actually really important to what you want to bring into your career and your career path. And if you feel like you can't totally be authentic, and authentic is not about, you can indulge every feeling, like, oh, I want to complain all the time, or I want to never work or something. Authentic is about knowing what your strengths are, knowing what comes easy to you and what you enjoy doing, and being able to express that, as well as holding all the values that are important to you around that. And so authenticity is really important here. And so you might feel conflict if you don't feel like those things are matching up. Like, if you don't feel like your sense of security, or your sense of, as you are exploring your inner world and the feelings and beliefs there, and developing the sense of security, or getting ideas about it, if you don't feel like you can really bring that into your public facing self and your career self, or you don't even see that you could incorporate that with your career path, you might be feeling a lot of dissonance there, and you might feel a sense of conflict, which could cause you to act or to change. But you might feel reception if there is some kind of harmony where your inner world actually does match the outer world, where the sense of safety and security that you develop internally gives you a sense of solidity, like your mindset, your way of thinking about it actually improves how you show up in your public facing self. It improves your attitudes towards success. And so that's where you can get these polarized experiences. And no one is better or more right than the other. The whole point is that you are here, and if, depending on where you are, you want to learn how to either enjoy it or how to transmute it so it feels better. So we're going to talk about that more. So we've got Saturn and Neptune conjuncting each other in the first house. And so meanwhile, all this is happening, you're experiencing right now a lot of self-development. And you're getting to the essence of what is authentic to you, and also about your dream of being your sincere self. So it's important. You have a dream of being your sincere self. And that dream includes being authentic. And it's not just about how you can become this, but also that you want this to be so natural to you that this is just how other people see you as well. And so if you don't feel like you can totally be like that, or you have blocks around that, you are feeling at this time that you really want to get to the essence of it. What is the essence of that which is authentic to me? And so you have a need for sincerity in your self-understanding and the one that you present. And this need for sincerity pushes you to expand your understanding of safety and security. And you also might be receptive to new ideas about expanding your sense of safety internally so you can be this more authentic self. So what I take that to mean is that as you recognize that it is actually really important for you to be operating as who you really are at your core, it's going to change this, it's going to affect your internal world. And a lot of times we don't act as our sincere self because of our sense of safety. Like, we somehow internalized ideas at some point in our path that being my true self is not safe. And when I actually conform or I comply, I am safer. And the thing about these beliefs is that they might have been useful at the time. It might have been your best way to adapt and to cope. But even though it might have been your best way to adapt and cope, first of all, it doesn't even mean that it was like fully the best idea. You were just doing the best you could with the information you had. And second of all, the fact that you have this desire to live and to know the essence of what is authentic to you means that you're ready for this change. And so your understanding of your internal sense of safety and security needs to change in order to meet the authentic self that you want to be. And so you will be getting new ideas at this time about how you can expand your inner world and your inner sense of safety to reframe potential threats or danger so that you can actually be your authentic self. And it just feels natural. It's just who you see yourself as, and it is also how other people see you as. And you know that by doing this work, it will produce the dream self that you feel is sincerely and completely you, and the one that you want others and yourself to recognize you as. And that is really important. Now, what's interesting is that these ideas about your sense of safety and security internally, like your beliefs about what behavior you can do or what behavior you need to do in order to feel safe and secure, are connected to new money beliefs. They're connected to money beliefs, or if it's not money, then it's about resources or opportunities. This idea of your sense of safety or security is connected to beliefs about how you can or can't attract and naturally can attract in a natural way opportunities and resources that you want. And so what's interesting about this is, like, we develop these internal ways of, or maybe not internal, we develop these external ways of behaving because we presume that this is what will get us liked and therefore take us where we want to go. And then when we run into a roadblock in which either A, that strategy didn't work anymore, meaning we're doing things by the way in which we had taught ourselves, oh, this keeps you safe, this gets you what you want, and it doesn't work. The moment we have a moment where it doesn't work, we're like, oh shit, that doesn't work anymore. And not only does it not work, but it might also make you not feel well. You might actually experience negative symptoms by behaving in that way. And so the way in which you might be expanding your sense of safety or security is going to be connected to what you believe you can access in terms of opportunities, resources, and money. Things that you're attracted to that gives you a sense of wealth and is important to you as part of your value system, is something that you want. And so the way that it can happen is you might be getting new beliefs around money, around resources that you're attracted to. And you're also noticing that you value feeling safe, or your sense of safety has to do with your money beliefs or your opportunity beliefs. And so part of the way in which your sense of safety and security might be changing right now is that you're feeling an expansion of your beliefs about money changing or about opportunity naturally unfolding, changing. And at the same time that this is happening about you, let me back up. By engaging with whatever beliefs you have around money, resources, or opportunity, and it impacting your sense of safety internally, by engaging with those beliefs like, oh, am I really going to make it? Can I really get this opportunity? Where is it? Whatever doubts or blocks you have about, oh, I can't really get there. Any place where you just notice yourself having doubt or uncertainty about a natural desire that you're attracted to that has to do with money or opportunity, that is a place where you have to go internally and you have to adjust your sense of safety around that, because that is a place in which you might be attaching it to your identity, and this is impacting how you feel you can actually achieve those desires. Now, you don't have to do all of this alone. At the same time, you are actually very motivated, or you could be encouraged by someone externally who is passionate and powerful, who dismantles or reframes the pre-existing and limiting systems of power in order to help you achieve your desire of experiencing naturally unfolding success and inner security. So let me say that again. Now, as much as you have to be kind of aware of feeling where maybe your sense of safety is threatened and being curious about that and how it relates to money or opportunity, you might also be feeling a natural motivation to really dive in to the frameworks that have to do with systems of power or the limiting systems of power that you may have told yourself are what holds you back. And if it's not you who's reframing those kind of external systems of power, then it's someone else who is powerful and passionate, who is helping you to reframe those seemingly insurmountable blocks that, systems of power, it's kind of like the environment we're created in, to show you that actually you can dismantle it. And actually, by engaging with it and just allowing yourself to play that game of awareness with it, it will help you achieve your desire of experiencing naturally unfolding success and inner security. So notice yourself if you feel pulled to maybe it's a person online or it's a person that you know, or you might actually that might be part of the fruit as well, is that you meet someone who is passionate and powerful and who doesn't play by the rules of the game, who sees things from a higher level and can really help you to dismantle your limiting beliefs that have to do with you reaching your sense of desired success or inner security. And it can really be a game changer. And again, if it's not someone else, then just notice in yourself if you're feeling that way. And I recommend, if you're feeling that way, then to really honor it and to go for that motivation, because it could really bear some valuable results. Now, in addition to all of this, you are getting clarity now about how you want to interact with people and how you want to express yourself. So before I was talking about how you're getting at the essence of who you are and who you want to see yourself as and who you want other people to see you as. And also, you're getting immediate clarity on how you show up in your interactions with people, how you're expressing yourself. And it's really important to you that they also, in that very exchange, see who you really are, or that you feel that you're truly expressing yourself as who you really are in a natural unfolding way. And this also influences how you see yourself, how you want others to see you. And the way that you want them to see you is that you are sincere and authentic. And also, you are willing to remove any groups, friends, or clubs that aren't able to understand that authenticity in you or aren't able to get to that essence in you. If they don't meet you for your authentic self, then you're actually completely okay at this time with cutting them and removing them, because your need for sincerity and authenticity is more important to you than any groups, friends, or clubs that aren't able to understand or activate that in you. Because you actually have a need for freedom to be operating in the moment as it naturally unfolds. And so you're willing to cut out anything that doesn't allow you to do this. And this is also a very big value at this time, is having this freedom and this ability to operate in the moment as it naturally unfolds, so you can access this sense of authentic self that you do want to operate as. And this authentic self is going to affect your sense of your conception of your inner safety. And it's also going to affect how you are able to achieve your desired success and goals, whether monetarily or as opportunities. And you're more open to people who are thinking at a higher level that is able to overlook kind of the limiting systems of power and challenge them to help you go to the place that you really want to go to. So this is actually kind of the overall vibe at this time. And bringing it back to that full moon with that initial question that I asked, which said, hey, what perspective have you learned about your career path and your attitudes towards success? What do you need in order to feel satisfied with your career path? So part of the answer to that is everything that I just said. Like, this sense of authenticity is very important to you. And also having that congruency between your inner sense of security that has an outward effect on your public self. And another aspect to that is that you also need to be able to be flexible. Like, you might realize that, wow, I change and I've always changed, and I have a need to be curious about my inner world perpetually. It doesn't really just end or I find it or figure it out, at one point in my life, and that's who I am for the rest of my life. It's that you also need the freedom to allow the expanding and changing to constantly occur, whether that's getting new ideas and it helps you create your more authentic sense of self, to create that sense of security even deeper. And when you have that inner relationship, it actually helps you to feel satisfied in your career, and you probably bring it out open into your career. And so you probably want your career to have that sense of flexibility and curiosity as well. Another thing is that you also probably care about feeling accomplished and skilled in developing yourself, so you can have the lifestyle that best fits your unique goals and desires. And so the way that I've personally experienced that is like, what perspective have you learned on your career path? Well, for myself, I realized that my work self is not just whatever job that I get. It's also that I feel my lifestyle is a balance of work and health, and that it all fits together for the unique goals that I have. And my goals are not just limited to work. It's also about all the other things that I want to experience or do in life. And so it's about having that sense of balance, about feeling accomplished and skilled in your personal development, so that you have this balanced lifestyle that meets you in all these ways. And you'll find that ideas that improve your sense of security can also help you to make a routine or lifestyle that best suits this, and then becomes a part of your attitude that makes you feel satisfied with your career. So like, if you have a routine where you feel healthy and secure and satisfied, then that energy is carried out into your career. And it also might be a part of the way in which you you incorporate some of that lifestyle into your career. And that, again, that's that harmony between those kind of internal worlds, and your lifestyle has this influence over your work life that best suits who you uniquely are. And so overall, the fruit that you might be seeing here, or the jewel of wisdom that you might have gotten here in the last 6 months, is getting clarity on this perspective of what you need in order to feel career satisfaction and success. And also that you are expanding your inner sense of safety in order to become your more authentic self, and just have that be who you are wherever you are. And so there's a lot of themes about this inner self being represented on a public scale, and that by incorporating that, just from self-conception to self-expression, to inner work and inner values about money and opportunity, to lifestyle, routines, it all adds up and influences how you show up in this public-facing way. And so what I recommend is that for the insight that you might be getting at this time about that is where you should really dial in on, wow, thank you for all the things that have helped me to recognize this. Write that down in your list of wants, of things that matter to you and that are important for your just regular well-being. And then also, I'd say revel in that a miracle will come to you in the place that you are going to feel either particularly motivated, or someone is going to come into your life who is particularly passionate and powerful, who's going to help you dismantle, reframe the pre-existing and limiting beliefs you have about the systems of power and how they impact your ability to have success or inner security. And let that be a place to experience a miracle. And so that's kind of like the overall vibe. It's just kind of recognizing what you want in your career path, what you need in order to feel satisfied, and making harmony between that internal world and that external world, and also doing that internal world work of expanding your sense of security, being open to ideas that come that help you do that, because it's going to help you get in touch with your more authentic self and bring that into your life overall. All right, so that was my reading for this Sagittarius full moon in June 2025. If you like this video, I would really appreciate it if you would like, comment, and subscribe. Share it with a friend if you think it'd help them. If you got something from it, you should definitely share it with somebody. And I will see you for the next one. Bye.